I'm sorry to say it, but I've known 12 prime ministers in my lifetime, and by a country mile, Boris Johnson is the worst. His natural instinct is not to be open, not to be transparent, not to be accountable, but narcissistically to think, what suits me? How can I extricate myself from this awkward situation? By what means can I arrogate blame somewhere else? This is way below the standard that the British public are entitled to expect. And when people say, well, isn't it important that we focus on the big issues rather than on wallpaper or the cost of a flat? I suppose the answer to that is this. If there isn't a basic level of trust in the most senior minister in the government, it's very difficult to operate a democratic polity at all. That's the problem. This guy stinks in the nostrils of decent people.
So the Prime Minister didn't spot that he was at a social event. That's the excuse, isn't it? Come off it. I mean, how stupid does the Prime Minister think the British people are? The worst of it is, he's already managed to completely destroy Allegra Stratton's career. He's tarnished the reputation of Lord Geit, and now he's making fools of every single MP who cheered him earlier. Every single one who goes out on the radio and television to defend this shower of shenanigans. Would it not be absolutely despicable if, in the search for a scapegoat, some junior member of staff ends up losing their job, but he kept his?
I'm grateful as ever, Mr. Speaker, to the right honourable gentleman. I think a former member of the Conservative Party, as I understand it. But I'm grateful to him for his party political advice. I don't agree with him, Mr. Speaker. I've come to this House to make amends, to explain what happened on May the 20th and to apologise. But, Mr. Speaker, I really think that, with all humility, I must ask him to wait for the result of the inquiry, where he will have abundant opportunity, Mr. Speaker, to question me again and to make his party political points again. But until then, Mr. Speaker, I'm going to ignore his advice.
We've got our rules. Unless you're the Prime Minister. Political satire, isn't it? I don't get political. I feel like it though. I'm getting angrier and holding it all in more and more. Even live, I don't really get political. I think I've been naive. I've hit that age where I go, well, they're all fucking lying, shitty little fucking corrupt twats. It was just lying in their own part, and I just think I thought there was good guys and bad guys, but now I just think they're all little fucking shits. Is that political? Is that some really nuanced insight into the workings of society? Greedy little fucking posh twats. Good, that's why I don't get political. The last couple of weeks and the bit before, I put on £3. I didn't all the way through, so I'm going into Christmas fat. So I'm going to be a fat little fucker. Anyway, it started well, didn't it?
You appear to have gone into some form of grief about the downfall of this ruthless, vile dictator. Why?
Well, when you say I spent time with Bashar al-Assad, you might have added that I spent time with him in Buckingham Palace when he was a guest of Her Majesty the Queen, literally living in the spare room at Buckingham Palace. The night before, going down the Mall in an open top coach with Her Majesty on a royal trot around central London. You might have mentioned that Tony Blair suggested a knighthood for Bashar al-Assad. I've met him once, twice in my life, and the second time, not on my own. So grief, no, my grief is for Syria. My grief is for the Syrian people, who are now ruled by ISIS and Al-Qaeda. And if you were being honest with yourself, knowing what you do about ISIS and Al-Qaeda, you'd be grieving with me.
We each live our lives. The goal of each individual, I suppose, is to be as happy as you can be without hurting anyone else, without infringing on other people's rights. There's probably a list of things that make each person happy. Mine is dogs, wine, this, talking absolute shit for a living, creating. What else? All the usual things, friends and family and all that. Work, learning. People always forget that. I always forget it, but it's great just finding stuff out. So anyway, everyone has a list of things that makes them happy, and you just got to do that all your life, and then die, and probably leave the world in as good a state as you found it, if you can. That's just common courtesy, isn't it? If you borrowed someone's caravan for the weekend and threw up everywhere, pissed on the carpet, shat the bed, you'd clean up, wouldn't you? Saturday morning. Just common courtesy. Little tip there.
Well, I certainly think there are a lot of concerns, legitimate concerns, about the leader of the rebels, who clearly was running part of Al-Qaeda in Syria. That's unquestionable. He says he's a changed person. He's distanced himself from, as he puts it, the extremists. I think we have to wait and see how this plays out and see if he is true to his word. Certainly the Americans seem to be buying into that at the moment and are supporting him, as are many other countries. In this country, for example, in the UK, I've seen that the government is saying we may have to unprescribe the group that he represents as a terror group in light of what's happened. So there's a lot going on here. And clearly there are a lot of groups in Syria, and there's a lot of people who are claiming they have gone from extreme fundamentalism to more moderate positions. Let's wait and see. It has been known to happen. I would say to you, though, I'm not talking really about what happened with Assad when he first came to power, because he was all the things that you've rightly articulated. I just find it odd that you would view his dismissal now as a bad thing for Syrians. And we made a quick checklist here. This is a guy, I remember I was at CNN at the time with the 2011 Arab Spring. He crushed the peaceful resistance. It led to a devastating civil war, at least 300,000, maybe 500,000 deaths. More than 14 million Syrians had to flee their homes. He fired rockets filled with sarin gas on Ghouta, killing nearly 1,500, mostly women and children. Continued to use chlorine and sarin on his own people between 2014 to 2018. Russian and Syrian government airstrikes killed more than 100,000 Syrians since 2011. Thousands tortured and left to rot in prisons. The prisons are currently being emptied out. People have been kept there, right, in underground, horrific conditions for sometimes decades under this guy. And so whatever the argument, which is a legitimate one, as I say, about what may come next, and we've seen with Libya and with Iraq and even with Iran, sometimes be careful what you wish for, and I'm absolutely cognizant of that. And I'm not getting too excited until I see how this plays out in terms of the leadership. But you cannot defend Assad's record of how he has treated his own people, given the scale of death, destruction, wrongful imprisonment, torture, and so on. Can you?
Well, that's the kind of propaganda porn that you've just adumbrated, that we were treated to about Saddam Hussein to justify invading and occupying Iraq. Both you and me, to our eternal credit, saw through that because we refused to abstract. Even if 1/5 of what you just said there is the case, that is not a justification for making every matter worse. Now, it's true that Paul had a dramatic conversion on the road to Damascus, but we know al-Golani. He wasn't just the number 2 to Zarqawi in Iraq. He was the Al-Qaeda number 2 in Iraq, killing British soldiers, by the way, killing American soldiers, by the way. And then he went to Syria and became the number 2 to al-Baghdadi, the founder of ISIS in Syria. So that would knock Paul's conversion on the road to Damascus into a cocked hat. Now, like you, I'm waiting for developments. Like you, I'm ready to treat this on its merits. If the Christian priests are not massacred, if the nuns are not kidnapped, if the religious minorities and Kurdish minorities and Druze minorities are not hunted down, like Golani did just 7 years ago, well, nobody will be happier than me. But you used the words, be careful what you wish for. In the Umayyad mosque in Damascus yesterday, his supporters were chanting that they're on their way to Jerusalem next. And after Jerusalem, they're on their way to Mecca next. Now, I could live with that, Piers. I'm not sure that you could.
Listen, I'm not trying to make a defense of any of it at the moment. I think it's a very turbulent situation. As you know, I've got relatives, including my brother, who've been in the military, and you can make a very good argument that when you depose dictators, it often leads to a worse situation. I mean, I think that's inarguable. And I'm not saying for a moment that I have absolute confidence that won't happen here, but I certainly wouldn't let that stray into a defense of Assad, who I think is indisputably proven himself to be an evil dictator.
Well, you can't, can you? I mean, you can't. I mean, it's so subjective, isn't it? And today there's no such thing as mental. Everyone's got an excuse. Everything's a fucking... You know what I mean? It used to be he's mental. But now, no, he's not. So, I think it would be them to prove I was mental. What would I do? Just have a sort of dignified conversation. Like that. I go, well, sorry about the inconvenience. There's been a misunderstanding. I do the test, right? And I go, yeah. And I go, well, yeah, you're saying. And then as they would leave, I go, oh, they say, well, listen, I'll put in the recommendation. You'll leave. I go, as they're leaving, I go, can I eat your feet? And they go, oh, fucking hell. Oh.
Let me ask you, there's a lot going on in the world right now, not least in the Middle East. You've seen Israel clearly have military success now, both against Hamas and Hezbollah, which seems to have given them a resurgent popularity. Netanyahu was very unpopular, is now much more popular because his people support what he's been doing with what they perceive to be terrorism. Iran, I would argue, is indisputably been weakened, not just by that, by also what's happened with al-Assad. You could argue that Russia has also been weakened because they basically pulled out of Syria completely. They've got a lot of troops there, but they're trying to get out of there completely. What do you make of the whole situation in totality? Donald Trump's coming in. He's made it clear he wants to end the war in Ukraine. He wants to try and end the wars in the Middle East. But where are we going to be left out of all this in a few months, do you think?
Well, unfortunately, for the purposes of show business, I agreed with all of that you just said. The truth is that the big winners in this are Erdogan, the new Ottoman emperor, whose flag is flying on the citadel in Aleppo for the first time since Lawrence of Arabia and the Syrian Arab national movement drove the Ottomans out in the First World War, and Netanyahu, who looked dead and buried only 15 months ago.
Yeah.
He looked like he was headed for the pokey. And now he's the cock of the walk. And frankly, the Arabs are lying prone on the floor. And only his tender mercies are anything or everything that stands in the way of him doing to them as he pleases. And he's now invading Syria. He's expanding the Israeli so-called buffer zone, occupation zone on Syrian territory. He's cleaned half of the Gaza Strip entirely of its Palestinian population, the north of Gaza. He could right now, tonight, open the gates of Rafah and drive the remaining Palestinians into the desert in Egypt, and nobody, literally nobody, is going to stop him.
And he's got a president coming in who is completely on his side.
Well, we'll see about that. Depends which Donald Trump you meet. If it's the Donald Trump that was campaigning in Michigan on the eve of poll before his greatest comeback since George Foreman's rumble in the jungle, that Donald Trump wants to end the wars. That Donald Trump might be the one, counterintuitively, I'll grant you, who forces Netanyahu to have some mercy and to try and bring about an end to this suppurating conflict that has poisoned world affairs for basically all of my
I think Trump, I actually agree with you. I agree with you. I think Trump, I spoke to him last week and it came up about Middle East and Ukraine and Russia. He is instinctively, he's anti-war. Always has been. Apart from anything else, as a business guy, he just thinks war is bad for business. It costs an awful lot of money. It puts enormous strain on the economy. And what do you gain? I mean, his argument, I think, would be, actually, if you look at America's wars and interventions over the last 50 years, where could you see a clear victory which justified all the money and all the bloodshed and everything else? And I would agree with him. So I do think he can be surprising. I also think there's a will to get peace now, certainly with the Israel-Hamas war, and I think also with Ukraine-Russia. You can see the rhetoric from Zelensky that he is clearly now ready to do some kind of deal because they're both losing too many people. I mean, Russia's losing 2,000 soldiers a day. That's why they've got the North Koreans coming in.
If you were immortal for one day, what would you do? Right, so, okay, I know what you mean. So I can't die, whatever I do that day, like Groundhog Day. I can do what I want and I can't. But then at midnight, I'm mortal again. I've got to be careful. Well, I suppose I would do dangerous things. Would I do things, would I like go into war zones and sort people out because they couldn't kill me? Or would I just fuck about? Just like jump off buildings to get to annoy tourists? Hold on though. Right, I'm immortal, but I've seen these things like the monkey's paw and 3 wishes go wrong when there's a twist in the tale. So I jump off a building for a laugh and I crunch and I'm not dead, but I'm smashed to pieces and in agony. And I'm going, ah. And then you go, yeah, I didn't say you. So I'm absolutely fucked. And then I just die of my injuries the next day. You gotta be careful with these questions. What would I do? I don't know. What would I do? Maybe I would do things that other people couldn't do. But what's that though? And you only got one day. What's the point? Running around bouncing off cars for a laugh. Good question though, isn't it? Some people have really got to thought that out. Like, I know what I'd do. Wade into poachers. Just going like, they wouldn't know anything, would they?
What happened in Tel Aviv? Because you said that you'll never go back because
I can't go back to Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv was just a bit intense. It was really intense.
You also said you like your racist, right?
Yeah, I like my racist.
What happened in Tel Aviv? Because you said that you'll never go back because
I
were racist.
I can't go back to Tel Aviv.
You banned from the country?
No.
Oh.
No, I'm not banned from the country. Tel Aviv was just a bit intense. It was really intense. At the same time, like, I'm an American, I've experienced racism going to Kmart
all day, right?
You know, like, it's nothing new, but I guess it's just like, shit. This is a new kind of racism, you know. I don't really know how to.
What happened?
Just everywhere I went, there was just looks. Went into a restaurant, people would be like I'd come in and they'd be like, oh, hold on a second, you know, just kind of like showing on their face that they needed to go like get their mind together before they served black people. There was only we only ate in one restaurant. The other restaurants we went to, like, I had to suck it up because I was hungry, you know, but every other restaurant we went to, the people were just kind of like, ugh, like, what are you doing here? Then in the airport, it was just like, you know, the people are like working for the airline were just clearly giving me and my security guard a hard time. I was seeing a lot of people with UK passport, white people with UK passports just passing through. And just the vibe I got was very, like, unwelcoming. And yeah, it kind of just gets to a point where you're just like, fuck, damn, I'm a here too? Shit. I'd rather just go home and be a at home.
Is there any place you've ever gone that you felt, I guess, less racism or no racism at all?
I'm watching the abuse that Azalea Banks is getting on Twitter, and I'm thinking to myself, this is why Israel has no friends. This is why Israel is incredibly unpopular online. You have a very famous musician from the United States who's taken a very unpopular stance, who's decided to come to Israel, come and support Israel, and she interfaces with the country on her own terms. And suddenly that's not good enough. And now every single person sees fit to hurl abuse at one of the very few people who's actually been supportive of the country. And I just can't help but think to myself, this is why you have no friends, right? This is why this whole Hasbara thing makes no sense. These people are some of the most toxic people online. And with friends like these, who really needs enemies?
Remember when I said all the celebrities who are selling out to Israel the hardest are the ones who are absolutely failing in their professional careers? Yeah, well, this is what rapper Azalea Banks looks like during her concerts now. She decided to become a full-time Zionist mouthpiece for God knows how much money. And you know what's funny is that Azalea Banks once slammed the Israelis for being racist and vowed never to return. She said everybody in Israel was very rude and she would not come back unless it was for some real money. So basically an admittance that she's getting paid good money to do this clown shit. This is the cost of selling your soul, everybody. And it makes perfect sense. She definitely needed this cash because her rap career was in the tubes. Everybody in the music industry recognizes that Azalea Banks is talented, but nobody wants to work with her because her personality sucks so bad. People like Lady Gaga have said she's just impossible to work with. She also posted a video of herself once sacrificing live chickens in her closet at home. Yeah, there's just a lot of reasons why people don't like this lady. But Israel's desperate at this point. They'll take any American celebrity they can get, and they'll pay as much money as they need to. Although that money's probably coming from the American government in the first place.
One, I don't live amongst celebrities. I mean, I know some, but I don't live among. I make sure I don't. I try to, and I take that as a compliment, that I do stay connected with ordinary people. I mean, also, I do know some celebrities, but they're not not all celebrities are out of touch. Some are nice people. Some have always been nice. Some probably went through it and come out the other side. They might have been arseholes and now, you know. So it depends. But I really don't think of I do not hang around with celebrities once or twice a year. I was famous late, which helps. So I knew who I was. I had all my, you know, priorities and values together. I mean, I imagine being famous at 18, how can you not be an arsehole? So there's that. In fact, I feared being famous. I hated the term. I mean, it's still an awful term, celebrity, but I feared it because I didn't want to be lumped in with those people that do anything to be famous. So I was quite militant about it, that, you know, I was famous for something. Fame was an upshot of what I did, writing and directing. Not going to premieres of films that I wasn't in, you know, not doing every celebrity fucking game show on telly. Yeah, I think that worked well. I didn't want anyone to think I signed that deal with the devil. Make me famous and you can go through my bins. So, you know, I've always done this as a job to get a good lifestyle, which had nothing to do with that. You know, because you have got to stay connected with ordinary things, ordinary people, everyday life. Otherwise, it's horrible. It's, you know, I mean, I've done things about fame, but they're usually spoofing it and damning it. It's about you know, I have studied. The Office was sort of a study in fame, an ordinary person, you know, from those quaint docusoaps. But it was really about real people. You know, my experience of working in an office for 10 years, that came first. And it was the vehicle for it, really, the fake documentary. And once people knew that David Brent was an ordinary guy who wanted to be famous because he thought it would make him happy, it comes to life. But you've got to try and keep low status. So, like in my new stand-up, I just don't talk about celebrity stuff much. I have to go back. I go back to childhood and school and family. So people without that. Thing is about comedy is, particularly in stand-up, you've got to try and keep your low status. We're court jesters. We're meant to be down in the mud with the other peasants, teasing the king. Not too much, so you don't get executed. So that's the idea. But of course, I also want to tell the truth. So I can't go up there and pretend I had a bad day signing on the tube, or they go, fuck off. You fucking got a limo here, you lying bastard. So I can't do that. So what I do is I invite them in behind the curtain. I go, right, I'll do it in two ways. One, I go, what do you think, it's all fun and games being, look at the shit things that still happen, you know. And two, I do it by talking about things where the audience is better off than me. They're not as fat and old and bald and angry as me, you know. I'm going to die before them. So that's why I embrace those sort of things. Because you've got to try and... You can't be above it. You can't go out there. There's nothing more boring than telling someone what a great fucking day you've had. Oh, shut the fuck up. Those people that go, oh, this holiday was so much better than yours. keep it to yourself. How are you? Doing okay?
I'm personally in favour of doing to farmers want to go on the streets, we can do to them what Margaret Thatcher did to the miners.
So just to be clear, Johnny, you would, beat them up?
No, close them. I mean, this industry we could do without.
So, okay, all right, so this got weird. So you would do to farmers what Margaret Thatcher did to miners, which was, and she used very heavy-handed police tactics, followed by what? Putting them out of business.
If people are so upset that they want to go on the streets and spray slurry on them, then we don't need the small farmers.
Right. Okay, John, I'm not sure that's a particular... You were, just to clarify, you were a former Labour Special Advisor, possibly emphasis on the word former there.
Okay. Right.
So why are you here, Mr. Clarkson?
Well, because I'm here to support farmers.
Right. Are you angry?
It's difficult to be angry on somebody else's behalf. That's like being... Yes, no, I'm not angry on someone else's behalf.
Right. So it's not about you. It's not about your farm and the fact that you bought a farm to avoid inheritance tax.
Classic BBC there. Classic. Oh, yeah. It's not the fact that I bought a farm to avoid inheritance tax. The fact.
You told the Sunday Times in 2021 that's why you bought it.
These people.
Sorry?
BBC.
Oh, God.
OK, let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
I wanted a shoot, OK? That's even worse to the BBC. I wanted a shoot, which comes with the benefit of not having to pay inheritance tax. Now I do. But people like me will simply put it in a trust. And so long as I live for 7 years, that's fine. And as my daughter said, you will live for 7 years. You might be in a deep freeze at the end of it, but you will live for 7 years. But it's incredibly time-consuming to have to do that. And why should all these people have to do that? Why should they?
There should be a rule, I guess.
So one of the reasons Rachel Reeves says she brought this in is to stop wealthy people using it as a way
No,
of
that was the
avoiding...
only reason she did.
Well, no, the other reason was to raise money for public services. Well, have you seen...
Are you listening to this?
Have you tried to get a GP appointment lately?
Yes,
Right.
I just recently had a heart attack.
Okay, so you know it's tough.
Yes.
So where should they get the money from if it's not from farmers?
From farmers.
With
You hear that, everyone?
With
BBC
assets.
thinks you should be paying for everything.
And I want to... Oh, you know what I want to say. I want to say, you selfish... Oh, God. I'll start carrying the stick again. Just swishing it out. Dark glasses and a white stick, just like that. Then they get out of the fucking way. Oh. Anyway.
Okay, do you know how many people pay inheritance tax in this country?
It's 4% of estates.
What?
4% of estates.
4% pay inheritance tax. 96% of the population of the UK does not pay inheritance tax.
Sure.
After this becomes law, 96% of farmers will.
Where have you got that figure from?
Who here, can I just ask, who here is going to be unaffected by these changes? No one.
But, I don't know what to do, really. I'm not the police. I can't. You can say, excuse me, or so. But people are going to start losing their temper. I mean, that's what road rage is, isn't it? Road rage starts with someone being unreasonable or doing something they shouldn't, and the other person loses their temper. It's not two reasonable people and suddenly one of them goes mental. It's someone doing something they shouldn't, cutting in front or not indicating, or, you know, the same as this.
Right. Where have you got the 96% figure
Well,
from?
you've got 96%. Yeah. Well, the same place that Rachel Reeves does, from the middle of her head.
Right.
From the Sixth Form Debating Society that she was no doubt a member of.
Okay.
Which formed her opinions and yours.
I am not expressing opinions. I'm
Yes.
literally asking you questions. You know that, Mr. Clarkson.
Right.
So, what is your message to this government?
Please back down, please.
And get the money from where?
Well, they've got 40 billion. I'll tell you where you get the... Walk into any of the offices around here. If you don't understand what somebody's job is, fire them.
And how
the civil service... Civil service is too top, you know that. I must get on.
Who's that guy? And the tractor's going. Well done, guys. Keep going, keep going.
Stay safe. Wash your hands. Don't have a knob for hair. Right, cheers guys. See you tomorrow. Skill to it. I used to drive my own desk and everything in the early days. Yeah, see? I was doing all the buttons and talking and playing records. I mean, I was talking, which is just a lot easier. Yeah. But I was talking and playing records. Not at the same time. In between. I was talking in between the records. You know how it works. Good. Where are you watching this? No. The Smiths, what a band, yeah. Yeah. Also, some people are annoyed when you play the Smiths because they don't like Morrissey anymore. But it's irrelevant to me what he says now or what his politics are. Great band. Agree or disagree? I don't care. Right, we've got some questions. I've got loads of questions. People were waiting for this. When I say people, I mean pets, mainly. My demographic is mainly pets and strange people. Strange. It's you I'm talking about. I know some of you are normal, but yeah. Right. I did a tweet the other day about like why do Hollywood stars, not just Hollywood stars, but some musicians, just some famous people, but particularly actors. When you see an actor, right, and they're like weird in an interview, or they're just like, right, and they can't hide it, right? I want to go, but you're a good actor. Just act normal. Just all your life, pretend to be normal. But no one listens to me. Right, got some questions. Daniel, what was your first reaction when you read about the Oscars? I was annoying. I was really annoyed. Loads of. Well, first of all, I woke up on the Monday morning and I got texts from American friends going, "Oh, poor Chris." I was going, "Who's Chris?" Right? And then I saw, oh, fucking hell, yeah. I mean, that's the main thing. I don't know why. I don't want to talk about it too much because I don't know what's going on in his life. I don't know why he did it. No one knows why he did it. He's got issues. I mean, it was double shocking that it happened at the Oscars with everyone in tuxedos. I mean, of course you see that thing in bars on a Saturday night, but not the most privileged people on the planet each other. Also, the main thing for me was totally unnecessary. There is no justification. That annoyed me when people were saying, "Oh, we deserved it. You shouldn't tell jokes about people." And the one that I blocked someone the other day for saying, "No, words are too." No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. Anyone who tries to say that any freedom of speech justifies, that's what fucking leads to. And honestly, don't get me started on that. But the main thing about it was, whatever his justification, whether you think he deserved it, whether you think words of violence, any of that is, Chris Rock weighs about 140 pounds. He's the most gentle man, so that was my thoughts. But I don't want to talk about it. I mean, I tried to avoid it. I couldn't. And I had like a warm-up gig the next night. And you can't go out there and not address it initially when it's a big thing like that, because people are going, what's he going to say about it? So I just went out and straight away said, I got no Will Smith material. And they laughed out of recognition. And I said, I trended on Twitter that day. I trended. I wasn't even there. Nothing to do with me. Because people were saying, what would Ricky Gervais have said? What would have happened to Ricky Gervais? Well, nothing. And I said this live. I said, nothing would happen to me because I wouldn't have told a joke about his wife's hair. I'd have told a joke about her boyfriend. And that was the joke. But someone from the press was in, and then that got put in the press. So I trended again. So I try and keep my mouth shut unless it's work, like a gig. And you don't expect the press. This is another thing, right? So I'm doing warm-up nights. Not even warm-ups, they're new material. I'm saying things for the first time. And press are in. And they tell the jokes. Don't fucking give away the jokes. Say you liked it or you hated it. Say it was brilliant or it was shit. Say everyone laughed or they gasped. But don't tell the fucking jokes. What? Why would you do that? You don't do it with films, do you? Don't give away the fucking jokes. Oh. Because I've got to start again. I've got to fucking come up with new jokes. Oh, God. But no, you don't hit someone over a joke, right? However bad it is, and it wasn't bad. That was like the tamest joke I would have ever have told. Jesus. And all these people saying, no, it was joking about... Someone said it was joking about her disability. Well, I'm going a bit thin, so I'm disabled. That means I can park right up next to Tesco's now. And I'm fat. That's a disease, isn't it? I'm fat and balding. I am. I should get fucking benefit. Oh, so that was my first thought, Daniel. Thanks for your question. Leopold and Loveday. Some animals disappear when their death is near. What? Oh, do you mean they go away and... Yeah. And they can sometimes detect another is dying. Do you think other animals have a sense of their own mortality or ageing like humans? I don't know. Well, they know they don't feel well. They know they don't feel like eating. They know, but I don't think they think, oh, I'm going the same way as old Harry who got hit by a Renault. I don't even think chimps think of their imminent demise. I could be wrong. I mean, they're aware of they know what death is, and they grieve and mourn and all that. But I don't know if they think, what happens when I die? I could be wrong. I know there's animal psychiatrists out there. Not are they aware of death or understand what that is, right? But are chimps aware of their imminent non-existence? I don't think. I think that's a very sophisticated thought. Could be wrong. Lindsay. Twice as intelligent, but live half as long, or live twice as long, but you're half as intelligent. Half as intelligent. I don't know what that would feel like, though. I don't know what scale it's on and what being... I don't know what being half as intelligent is. Do you know what I mean? It could be like... It could feel like I'm a spud. How intelligent am I? And what is half? Because it's not this IQ scale, is it? That wouldn't be, because that's an arbitrary. I mean, what is intelligence? There's lots of different. I don't know. I don't think I could risk. But then, would I care if I was half as intelligent? And would I be happy? I could live longer, but I wouldn't. It's awareness, isn't it? Life is awareness. That's the joy of life, understanding. Even though you understand that the tragedy and I think, oh my God. If I was still a bit bright and could enjoy life and do normal things, would I know that I was half as intelligent, or wouldn't I be that clever? Because that's the good thing about being stupid, isn't it? You don't know you're stupid. I'm torn. That's a great question, Lindsay. I'm torn. My instinct is is to... Because I don't know how long I'm going to live either. It's too late now though, isn't it? Because I can't live half as long as I would have now, because I'd be dead. Because there was no way I was going to live to 120. So if I choose twice intelligent, I just go, oh, I understand, dead. Right? So that would be... I've got to choose half as intelligent now, haven't I? And live twice as long as I would have. So I'll be 180 and thick, right? Just going around going, I can... It's a good question in a stupid fucking way. Tricky that, isn't it? I'll give that to Sam Harris. Oh, you can get all 3, now they've been up a while, you can get all 3 series of Absolutely Mental for $25. 31 episodes? I mean, that's value for money, isn't it? About $1 each. All that. It's like this, but smart, and you learn something, and there's 2 of us. And it's longer. And I still ask him some of these stupid fucking questions. What, you should have bought it anyway. I'm talking to you people. You've had this for free. You should buy it. You should buy Absolutely Mental. Just to feel good about yourself and not feel guilty about exploiting me. And as we know, I'm fat and bald, so technically disabled. That'll come back and haunt me. No, it won't. Still death, isn't there? Whatever happens, however bad things are, there's always death. So, that's how I look at it. It's quite comforting. Honestly, that sounds flippant, but it is quite comforting. When you stress about something, a tiny thing, and you go, oh yeah, well, when I'm dead, this won't matter. And you go, oh yeah, it doesn't matter now. Not great advice. Keena. Yeah, sure, why not? Oh, that's a question, should I do live bollocks? Yeah. So, her question is, what do you enjoy most about creating a stand-up show? Well, creatively, ideas are the most exciting thing. That's when you get the adrenaline rush. Then you work out how to do them. And I love it all. I love every part of it. Right up to winning an award, right? I love every part of it, the creative process. But there's nothing as exciting. The only time I get an adrenaline rush is the initial idea, if you know what I mean. So it's that, coming up with new ideas. I love that. I'm loving the warm-up nights, the new material nights, because there's no pressure. You go further comedically. You can do anything because the audience know they're seeing things that might not make it. So it's not that you've gone out and go, it's finished, isn't this brilliant? And they go, oh, it's not that good. So, you know, I try and lower their expectations, and they've got in cheaper. And it makes it, I mean, in a way, it's more enjoyable than the real thing. Because it's a small venue. I'm doing it with my chums and winding each other up. It's a really hot ticket, you know, because there's so few seats. And it's just so much fun. I could do without the press being in, you know, that's a bit annoying, isn't it? Trying to create art. It's like they're putting their head round and looking at Michelangelo doing the Sistine Chapel going, you've missed a bit. I haven't fucking finished yet. I haven't finished. Don't tell people what I'm painting. Just say it was good. That's my analogy. My stand-up is like the Sistine Chapel, but better. So, can you please play the guitar behind you? It's always there, but it's such a tease because you hardly ever play it. Please, maybe I'm trying to talk and I'm sounding really inarticulate. I can't read because my eyesight's going, right? Maybe I have just become half as intelligent. Maybe that first question was like the Twilight Zone, that I chose that, and so now this is the result. Because reading that, fuck me, I sounded thick. But it's my eyesight. Play something, anything you like. Okay, right. Oh, God. Sold my shack in Memphis, bought me a Chevrolet, 6-string in the back and a bottle of Jack, and I headed down to Mexico way, singing ooh la la la, ooh la 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 lay, ooh la 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 la. It's a beautiful day. Sound better if the guitar was in tune, but it was sprung upon me. I had no way of preparing for that. I think that's my favourite Brent song now, because it's like a real song. If you ignore the daft lyrics, it is like a. I mean, they all are. If you ignore the daft lyrics, they're all like real songs. But that's cracking tune, still available. iTunes, Life on the Road. Life on the Road's gone on to Disney Plus. Now I don't know how. Did they buy it? Did someone sell it? Do I make any money? I just saw people going, Life on the Road's on Disney Plus. I went, oh, is it? Oh, that was exclusive to Netflix. Should I be getting a little bit of... How does it work? Is it subscription only? They must have bought it. What's going on? I'm being exploited because I've got the terrible disease of thinning hair. Rachel, do you have anything signed from someone you revered, and if so, what? Yeah. Three things spring to mind. I haven't really got autographs. I've never collected things like that. But I've got a signed Muhammad Ali glove. He sent me a letter when I did celebrity boxing, which is pretty amazing. I got that framed. Got that framed straight away with a little glove hanging by it. So that's, that's pretty amazing, I think. A signed glove to me and a little letter, that's probably the biggest. I've got, David Bowie. When I did, played Madison Square Garden, he introduced me and he did that little thing, a harmonica. Chubby Hill did that song, and then he signed it and gave it to me. So I've got a signed harmonica from David Bowie, a signed glove from Muhammad Ali, but this doesn't really count because I've got Christopher Guest, who's a friend, gave me the guitar he played in Spinal Tap. Didn't sign it because it was a gift, but that might be one of the greatest gifts I've ever. So those are pretty prized possessions. They're pretty good, aren't they? That is fucking amazing, actually. I've never thought about that before. 3 sort of heroes in 3 completely different... Like, if you look at sport, music and comedy, I mean, that's a hell of a trio, isn't it? Yeah. Gunnar. Oh, happy birthday, Gunnar. Do you ever get empathy burnout or compassion fatigue? I feel you take a lot on personally. Do you mean like That can mean, I think I know what you mean. Do you mean like helping charities and that, and sometimes you go, oh my God. If you mean, yeah, sometimes I go through Twitter and animal cruelty makes me go, oh God, really? Like I see things, oh for fuck's sake. And you try and do it all, and then you sort of feel, oh, this is pointless, it's a drop in the ocean. I mean, when you think about how many, there's a point to make as well. People say, oh, he only cares about dogs. That's just not true. I do loads of things I care about all animals. I don't think we know anything, but obviously the biggest one is the factory farming. I think I've told you this before. Of the animals on land, I think something like 4% are wild. We're like 35%, and the rest of animals that are bred for us to eat. And so with that, you have to cut down complete jungles and forests to graze, apart from the cruelty of keeping an animal to just eat it. That is the big, thing that's destroying the planet. And then also, I think we like a day, but like 2 or 3 billion sea creatures, and most of those are like ground up to make pellets for cows. So we've turned cows into the biggest sea predator in existence. It's mad. We are just fucking everything. But yeah, apart from that, the individual ones sometimes get me. If I see someone just, this type of thing you see on fucking Twitter, animal cruelty. Yeah, I want to him in the face. Although I never lose the empathy for the animal, obviously, but I guess I do lose a little bit of empathy and forgiveness for animal cruelty, and you can't help that. If I thought about it, I probably wouldn't him in the face if I was in a tuxedo. Well, I think I got through that without mentioning it, didn't I? Well, thank you, everyone. That's all we've got time for. So, buy Absolutely Mental, if you want. Watch Life on the Road on Disney Plus. I haven't got it, but I'm flogging stuff. I don't even know where you can get it, or what else? What else can I flog? Thanks for watching Afterlife. It's crazy. It's absolutely mental. Just all the lovely tweets still flooding in. People still starting it and finishing it and starting again. Because of that, people have gone back and discovered Derek and humanity. So, Afterlife, Derek, humanity, Life on the Road on Disney Plus. Why am I plugging that? I shouldn't be plugging that, should I? Absolutely Mental at absolutelymental.com. That's mine. I'll find out. Sam Harris has just given that to Disney Plus or Tesco's, Walmart's. Good. Well, I've run out of shit to say, haven't I, really? So, thank you very much. Be kind to animals. Happy birthday, Gunnar. Tatty bye, everyone. Tatty bye.